Gentlemen, how are you? This is Armando Cruz, and today I want to share with you a huge milestone. Today is June 14th, 2018, and today is exactly 365 days that I've been running a minimum of 30 minutes. The most that I was running during this time was about a period of 5 weeks of 2 hours at a time, and everything in between. But for one entire year, 365 days, I have stepped outside and gone for a run. Well, actually not always stepping outside, because we had hurricanes here last summer, and we were stuck inside the house. And so in order to meet my running requirements, I ran in place for 45 minutes in the house like a madman so that I could get my run in during the hurricane. But why am I sharing this with you, and why is this even important? First of all, I just want to celebrate it and I want to share it with you. Second, here's what I've learned. You see, first and foremost, understanding context. This isn't the best way to train. I'm not using running every single day as the way to train for any particular marathon or for performance or for anything of the sort. The reason I set out to do this was for consistency. I wanted more predictability and consistency in my life, and I wanted to see if I could do that. Originally, I did not set out to do a year. I set out to do 30 days. 30 days turned into 35, and then 40. And then before you knew it, I was like, okay, can I do 3 months of this? And then I was like, okay, can I do 6 months of this? And then by the time I got to 6 months, I was like, all right, let's see if I can take this all the way to a year. And here we are, 365 days later. There have been many ups and downs, including yesterday. So imagine this, right before the finish line, and you get injured. Right before the finish line, and you get injured. What do? Do you stop? You can see the finish line, but you're injured. No, you keep going towards the finish line, any means possible. So what happened yesterday? Yesterday I was in the house, in the backyard, and I was putting stuff away, and I turned, and when I turned, I kicked the leg of a chair that we have outside with my middle toe, my foot. I think I broke it because it's painful. So what does that mean for today? Well, I had to test it out. I mean, just having the sheets on it hurt. So this morning when I woke up, I was very, very concerned that not only is my toe broken, will I get my 365? Yes, at this point it's become a little obsessive because I've worked so hard. I've made it 364 days, but I want to see the year through. So what I decided on doing is, if you can see back here, we have in our facility gymnastics flooring. So it's a lot softer. So I decided to see if I could jog in place for 5 minutes. And that was good. And so what I did was essentially I jogged in place for 5 minutes, did some exercise, jogged in place or around here. I was running around the facility for 5 minutes, and then I do exercise. And I broke up the 30 minutes until eventually I got all 30 minutes in. Now, depending on how I feel, I'll probably run more in the afternoon with my son, but the point is when you see the finish line, no matter what happens, you cross it. You cross it even if you got to drag yourself through it. And this wouldn't have been possible. Like, people see this and they're like, oh wow, this is amazing. But it didn't start this way. You see, more than 2 years ago, I wanted more consistency. I wanted more focus in my day, and I started doing six habits every single day. They were meditation, 10 minutes of movement, which is what I want to talk to you about. They were reading 5 pages in a book, reaching out to 3 people every single day, making a video every single day, writing 50 words every single day. Now, how does the 10 minutes of movement tie into this? Well, originally it started off, again, can I do this for 30 days? Can I focus and do what I call movements? This is moving your body in such a way that energizes, heals, and excites you and leaves you better than you were before. That's how I define movement for this. So that included stretching, yoga, running, walking, cycling, exercise of some sort, lifting, calisthenics, whatever it was to get my body moving. Because what I found myself was going through these periods of like a manic depressive person. Like I'd go really intense and then I'd stop doing for a while. I go really intense and then I'd stop doing for a while. So I wanted to stop and break that cycle. And I said, I want consistency on a day-to-day basis. So even on my worst day, I could do those 10 minutes. And I set out to do that, and basically a year and a little bit later, I started thinking about, well, can I run consistently every day? And now I added a separate category for running. So my 10 minutes now, I still do them every day, but it doesn't include the running. So the running is separate, and now my lifting, my stretching, my yoga, my cycling, whatever else I'm doing, my hiking, those encompass the 10 minutes. The power of doing things consistently, the little things on a day-to-day basis, aggregate to massive gains. Those 6 habits have transformed my life. And now this idea that I've been running for 1 year, 365 days without missing a day, something I never really thought was possible. I ran a lot in high school and college, but I always ran 6 days, 5 days, sometimes 7 days, but in general, this idea that I needed rest. What I learned from this experience is everything's within context. Intensity plays a big role, because there was a point in these 365 days that I was running 2 hours every single day for 5 weeks. That's over 100 miles a week that I was doing. The intensity was a lot lower. I could do it week in, week out. So that was over 500 miles in the span of a little more than a month. That's a big thing. If you're a professional runner, maybe not that big, because that's kind of standard. But in general, I have a full-time job, I have a full-time family, I have other responsibilities, and running isn't my priority. But it kind of just grew into that. And what I'm saying is that when you focus on the little things and do them consistently, you'll start finding that space opens up more space, more access to grow and to be in the presence or position yourself for opportunities of greatness, of excellence. And that's what I want you to take from today, is not that you have to run for a year, but that choose one thing that you can do every single day and celebrate the consistency, because we're in this for the long haul. Anybody can do things for a day, for a week, for a month. But when you do this for a year, 2 years, 10 years, think about a habit that if you did today would really mean nothing. But if you did it for a year, if you did it for 10 years, it could massively change the course of your life and the impact that you have. This has been me, Armando. Have an amazing day and create that legacy that you want. Take care.